the case may be. All right. Good morning, one and all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again. Got a wonderful group with us today. I always look forward to Mondays, being able to touch bases with you guys. Even though we formally don't have an office, this is our way of getting together. I love Zoom calls. A lot of people don't care for it, but I just love it. I really do. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for staying with the eXp business that we all share in. We are no different than any one of you guys. We have our struggles in life, in family, in finances, everything that you're going through, we all go through. And I have to tell you, I am humble every day because this was a gift from God that was given to us and it could be taken away just as quick. So I am humbled every day to wake up to be with eXp. So what I want to do is I want to introduce Michael. Michael's going to run the call for the rest of our time. We're going to go about 30 to 35 minutes and we're going to interact with questions. And I have to tell you, not because Michael's on the call, Michael Senna is probably one of the nicest gentlemen I have ever met, period. End of discussion, okay? The most soft-spoken man, the most humble, and he doesn't bring any crap to the table. He always keeps his side separate, and he just brings his contribution every day. So, Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. The check's in the mail, by the way, so appreciate it. No, today I am so excited. Thank you for this opportunity, Frank, and everybody for being here. I really get a chance to highlight and talk about a couple of the agents that I've been working with in the past that have really come in, and for newer agents that want to do something, this is possible. And I want to highlight these two agents that have done something in the time that they've been with eXp, the time that they've become agents, coming into production, and really talk about how they've come into production and what they're doing and what their goals are coming in. So today we're really going to be talking to Kimberly Siddall and Eileen Boyu. Got it right. Eileen Boyu. Two great agents who I've been working with for about a year and a half. So I'm going to start with Kimberly and just go ask a couple questions to kind of get in, and please, everybody else, feel free to jump in. But Kimberly, tell us where you're at and a little bit about why you chose real estate and how it's going to get started.
Good morning, everybody. I am located in Lemoore, which is approximately 30 miles south of Fresno in farm country. And it was about a year ago this time. No, it was about 2 years ago this time. I had decided that I needed a change in pace of the career that I'm in, still currently in, but I wanted to get away from that career and do something else. And driving home from Phoenix, I think it was Phoenix one day, and my husband said to me, well, why don't you become a realtor? You know numbers. And I went, huh, and I thought about it and I researched it. And I started studying and taking the classes probably in September and took the test the first time and passed it in April and joined eXp. I think it was in May or June of last year. And so I've been here for just over a year now. And I have been enjoying it immensely, tremendously. My other career is I'm a teacher. So for 180 school days, I'm working, 60 hours a week doing that. But that didn't stop me. I would many mornings get up early, check my emails, check my CRM. I would come home from work, maybe for half an hour, get home at 4:30, maybe for half an hour, do some more work, cook dinner. But the weekends are when I put a lot more effort into it. And then I kept saying to Michael, this year, March, April, May, I kept saying, I just want the school year to be over so that I can throw myself into realty. And that's what I've been doing this.
Awesome. And through all this hard work, everything comes in. You just took your first listing, right?
I did. June, I think 1st. Yeah.
And what did you price that listing?
I'm sorry?
Where's the price of that listing?
6.8 million. And that's my first listing. So I started back in February. I was on Workplace and a gentleman named Jarek put something on Workplace asking if anybody knows anyone that is selling a cannabis farm. Well, 2 miles down the road from me, 3 years ago, I knew there was one for sale. So I started trying to research it. First, I went up to Fresno counties, the association up there, not the housing association, an office that holds LLCs. Found that, started writing him about every other week. I would send the same letter, change the date, say this is a repeat, please get back in touch with me. And that got nowhere. And Brandon Bowman, who is also part of the Cine group, he took the information I had and waved his wand and found out where the owner actually lives in San Luis Obispo. So now I go change gears, start sending mail to San Luis Obispo. And about a month later, I get this phone call. And so we're talking probably May at this point. So from February to May, I've been just reaching out, wishing, hoping, dreaming. He did call and he said that the owner of the current house in San Luis Obispo called him and said that he had mail. He called me and the rest is history. Here we are now.
So the wishing and hoping was actually planting seeds. Planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds.
Oh, of course. If you believe in it, you can achieve it. So
No pun intended, planting seeds. Are we talking a cannabis farm?
very much so.
How many acres?
84.
That's a lot of weed.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What is the price?
6.8 million.
Oh, you sell that. I hope we see you again.
You will. You will. I'm working with Crexy right now. I'm investing my time and efforts with them so that I can also learn the backdoor of things. I've considered putting some more energy into commercial because being this farmland and everywhere you drive, the farms are for sale. So I'm thinking, wow, let me just go the backdoor way in through Crexy because they've shown me how and see what other commercial properties I can slowly massage, wait 4 months and get.
So I got to give Kim all the credit. She has gone through this, like she said, she was working another career, but consistently came to me, attended all the meetings that she was doing, had this goal in mind, was planting, like I said, planting the seeds, reaching out with no confirmation that the owner was even getting this thing. And it's come to fruition. Now she started working with other buyers as well. People are popping up because of her intention and being there. And like she said, now it's the summertime and she's full go. So I give you tons of credit, Kim. I'm going to bounce over to Eileen real quick and we'll come back to you. But I'm telling you, amazing. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. And I just can't wait to see as your career keeps going. So
thank you.
All right, welcome. And Eileen, I came across Eileen. Let me just give a little heads up with Eileen. I came across Eileen. I do interview as soon as she got her license. I had reached out to her and said, hey, I wanted to see if you found out about any agencies, any brokerages you want to work with. Sent her some information and she'd reviewed it. We decided it was a good match and started working. And from there, I've just been amazed at how she's kind of come up. I'll let her tell you a little bit of her story and where she's from and a little bit of her background. But Eileen, can you tell us a little bit of your background and how you, coming into eXp, how that's worked for you and, where your production is at after, this year?
Sure. First of all, Kim, that is amazing. Let me just say that. Congratulations. Unbelievable. And I
Thank
think
you.
key takeaway with that for me is that you just never know when you'll uncover an opportunity. But I'll talk more about that later because that's what I'm finding about this business, that there are ups, downs. You can run around like crazy and it will be worth it. But anyway, so yes, I had just passed my test. My background was for about 15 years, I was in marketing, advertising. I was an online advertising director. I had sales teams underneath me in Maryland and Virginia. So I was always in sales. So running around like crazy meant money. Production was craziness, which is almost a little bit of a problem now when I could run with that 24/7. But Michael called, I stopped, I raised my children for 10 years. And honestly, I was dying to get back in to corporate America, the old Eileen running around like crazy and checking things off lists and making things happen. So I was kind of bursting. So I knew my plan was always to become a realtor. my very first job at the Washington Post was in the real estate category. So that was really throughout my whole career. The plan was I'm going to have children and then I'm going to become a realtor. But honestly, I was in Northern Virginia and that's what every stay-at-home mom did. And everybody said, that's what everybody does. That's not gonna, you're not gonna make anything of it. And I'm like, no, I'm really doing it. Like, I'm gonna do this. So I was very happy when I got a phone call from Michael right after passing the test and reviewed everything about eXp and loved it because it reminded me of a lot of the companies I had been with. I was with the Washington Post, I was with 2 TV stations, I was with Clear Channel before they were iHeartRadio. I feel like I was always with the ones that were changing things for the industry. And eXp to me is the game changer. I feel like eXp is the most technologically advanced. eXp is just, it's the future. It's the future of real estate. So I loved that one of my first opportunities was to review everything about a company like that. And that's really what made me dive in.
Awesome. Awesome. And so you started out and you were kind of inching your way back in, learning the ropes and everything. You joined a team or you were working with a mentor initially, right? And
Yeah,
then
I was
go ahead.
solo initially. And actually, while I was studying, I met somebody at a child's birthday party that I was just randomly sending things to before I even had a license or had passed the test. So that was, which was excellent. That was one of my first, I passed the test, I got the license, and I closed that one with Michael's help. And at that point, I did have a mentor. So I had my mentor that was assigned to me, went through 3 transactions with the mentor, and then decided that I didn't really want to be completely on my own yet. So I did join a team. One of the main reasons was I wanted a local office. I wanted a phone number that was an 805 number. I wanted my flyers and anything that I was handing out to have a local address, especially because I have the New York accent. I didn't want anybody thinking she doesn't know Orchid, California.
Good deal. And how's the production been going? How have you been doing for the past year and a half that you're in? You
Yeah,
just
so
closed another. I noticed you closed a few transactions this last couple months. So
that was the best week. I closed 3 in 1 week, which was insane. But I'm at 8 total for a year and a half. And I mean, honestly, I'm absolutely loving it. And I feel like all of the things I was doing, any of the times where I got like, okay, this is all for nothing. My big takeaway to anybody is that just keep doing it. Just tell everybody and make sure that your social media is always showing your activity. Because I noticed that even when I didn't have anything in escrow or anything on the horizon, if my social media made me look busy, whenever I would bump into people, they'd say, oh, you're really killing it. You're crazy. And all it was social media posts reminding them what I was doing. Unfortunately, when I was busier, I lessened my social media content. And that's a lesson learned that you've got to keep up with that and make that look like you're busy because you are.
right. Well, awesome. Question for I gotta go for both of you is what advice would some of the agents have been struggling recently or in the past year. What advice do you guys have for agents that are struggling now that you guys are starting to see some fruit to all your efforts? Let's start with you, Kim.
I would say a couple things. One that sticks out to me a lot is if you are struggling, come to the meetings that people have because there's so much information or so many stories that each of the members have that we tell, we talk. And those that aren't appearing, I don't know if they're getting done with anything. Those of us that are appearing, we have things to say and we help each other out and we, give kudos to each other and it just makes us feel better and makes us want to go do it again tomorrow. And so that I feel is important to keep everybody connected.
Awesome. Yeah, I think plugging in is so huge and connecting. And so just having that plugging in and attending, like you said, you get to share so much and work with all of us and work those stories with everybody because now we can share our stories. So, and then you, Eileen, how about you? What are your
I agree. I think the biggie is just get out there and make connections with other agents because those other agents are going to get you into some of their open houses, which is where one of mine came from. Just lady walking into the open house. It gets your signs out on the road. It gets your social media going. So really just stay visible and tour the inventory, whether it's a broker tour with the MLS, go to the MLS meetings, just stay visible and stay out there. And I think that's the best way to uncover opportunities.
Okay, awesome. And kind of coming up what do you think your goals are kind of in business for this next year? I know as you're growing and developing, do you have any goals for the next year, and then long-term goals? What are you kind of working towards?
You want me to start with that?
Yes.
My goal for next year, I would like to have at least one transaction per month, 12 total by the end of the year. And I really, really want my first listing. I feel like that's what really lends to my background, dying to feel the satisfaction of getting a seller multiple great offers because of my own marketing efforts. So that's what I really would like, you know, a 6.8 cannabis listing would be a great one as well. But yeah, I'd love a listing, because that to me will be my biggest learning experience right now, since I've dealt with 8 on the buyer side, something that really teaches me a whole different side.
Awesome. And to the point of earlier, you know, we're always here on Mondays, you know, come in, check in. There's so many agents here that we're all working and who've done listings. So you'll get the experience, you'll get those stories and some more connections on how to get some of those things done. Kim, how about you?
Well, understanding that the school year starts in a month, my goal is to, okay, I'm not going to say 12 because that's a little off the hook for me right now as far as teaching when the school year starts, but I want to get enough in the summer to push me into the school year being successful with the realty, because I'm not going to be able to put as much into it, but I want it to like overflow me as the school year starts. I'm working with a teacher right now trying to find her a house. I want the first day of school when we all stand around, I want her to stand up and go, she's the one, you use her. And then everybody in my faculty stands up and says, Kim, help me. So that's my short-term goal. My long-term goal is to retire from education sooner than later and become full-time at this. And then I will renegotiate my goals then.
Awesome. No, that's amazing. You guys are both, like I said, so inspiring. I'm so honored to be working with both of you. I remember, you know, even after talking to you guys, coming home and talking to my wife and saying, I've got some amazing agents that I'm going to be working with. Like, so excited to see what's happening with them. At this point, I'd love to open up if anybody else has some questions, you know, that they want to ask or get going or share with the agents that are here, please.
Michael, I have a question.
Go ahead, Aaron.
And that goes for both of you, the champion. Definitely, I'm inspired. When you looked at eXp, what was the one thing that you felt that this is it and really, you know, you fell in love with? Thank you.
I have to be honest with you, because I didn't know anything about realty or how it operates or how it works. Just as I got my before I got my license, I was going to a brick and mortar and I was talking to a realtor and I was feeling her out. Maybe that's where I was going to hang my license. After I got my license, I got questioned or asked to talk to eXp, and I did. And I have to say, 60 hours a week at work and then having to go to a brick and mortar in the evenings or the weekends was not going to make me happy. And really, it's the fact that I can sit in my own house and attend meetings and learn and go to Debbie Penny's contract classes, and so much better than leaving the house for another 20 hours a week. That was really what got me. Since then, it's been the family. It's been, oh, I did make the right choice. So
thank you.
And again, I felt like for me, it was clearly the technologically advanced company that was making things. It was kind of like an industry disruptor. And I felt like that's who I always tended to go with. I went with the big companies that were doing great things back when I was, you know, career oriented, Eileen, before I raised the children. So I loved the fact that I could jump into the world, you know, have my avatar, have a little meeting with a broker and ask questions. And I've done that multiple times. I love it. We have so much at our fingertips. And I felt like because I took that 10-year break to be a stay-at-home, I was substitute teaching. So I was still doing other things once the youngest was in kindergarten. But I felt like I almost needed to jump back into something that was going to force me back into the modern world, because my background was online advertising and the world had changed so much in 10 years. So I didn't want to do something that was easy. I wanted to do something that was going to throw me right back in.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you didn't necessarily intend this question for me, but I'm going to jump in as well and just say, you know, I wasn't exactly super happy. I was satisfied at the brokerage that I was with, but I actually was kind of not necessarily looking for a change. But when I spoke to Elgin and Elgin had told me he'd switch, I had built such a great relationship with Elgin and had such respect for him that when he told me I couldn't help myself but actually do some research and talk to him. And then I just wanted to work with him, and I thought eXp had everything that it needed. So that was the reason that I came over to eXp, and then just kept growing and building business and making relationships with Frank and Nate and everybody else here. So it's been amazing that way as well.
Michael, if I may add to that, from what you said, it triggered me because, of course, I want to also thank Frank Crandall, who kind of recruited me at one time from Coldwell Banker and brought me to Remax. And at that time, he was the manager there. And one thing that I loved about Frank, that's who he is. He connects with people on a human level. And always he went around every morning, talked to everybody, made everybody say, like, do you need anything? Can I do anything with it? And when he left, I always had the void, and I was looking to see like where he is at. And of course, the rest is history. But the lesson learned out of this here is no matter what you do, always connect to people and always treat them well. Because at one time, of course, they're looking at the opportunity. But when it came, do you know how many people, and I'm sure you are the same, many people offered you the eXp opportunity, but you went to the person that really had your back, you loved him. And when you said, oh, the other person can make money. When I close a deal, I don't do 6 million listings, but hopefully in the future, Frank would be smiling better. But when I know that Frank makes money, it makes me happy because somebody makes income or additional bonus based on my effort, but somebody who deserved that, somebody who is willing to give back and support. And that's, I think when you said that, that really hit home for me. Thank you. Because it's really all about relationship. But we are grateful, as Eileen and Kim said, of course, the company has to be great. Nobody just joins. One of my first broker, John Pinto in the Silicon Valley said, Arya, no matter how nice you are, nobody gonna do business with you. But if they remember who you are and they need to do something, then you have a chance. Back to you. Thanks again. I'm most grateful. And thanks, Frank.
Checks in the mail, buddy.
This one I want to bring out, and I'm actually going to hit some of the more experienced agents here. And this is where I think that a lot of people mix for eXp is the support. And that's where I think it's there from the bottom all the way up, you know, from a new agent, and we'll talk Kim and Eileen, the support that you got, all the way up to Elgin, Frank, myself, Nate, Sid. If any of you want to jump in, I'll jump in with you, Nate. How do you feel you've gotten support now that you came with eXp? Like, have you had a support of doing things?
Yeah, I mean, we've had great support. I mean, if anybody could, you know, if you learn how to navigate the world, I think as a single agent, you got to really learn how to navigate the world so you can get in and ask Debbie Penny questions or go to the broker room, you know, learn how to do all your things. The good thing about eXp, if you're a self-motivated person, a self-learner, it's all right there. So the support's been great. I know since I have a team, Fanny goes into the world. So we kind of have a broker between our broker. So the broker for my team has a great relationship with eXp, but we haven't had any problems. I like the fact that I can run basically an independent brokerage is basically what I do, a team of 30. And they leave me alone as long as all of our stuff's in order. But to Frank's point, and you guys were talking about Debbie a little bit as we started, you have to have your ducks in a row. And I really like the fact that it is a little bit strict. You have to have all your paperwork, or you're not going to get that paycheck. So I've had no complaints with eXp and the support. And if they're not going to support you on something, they will tell you, because if you go to arbitration, if you choose to go to arbitration, eXp does not go to arbitration with you. They don't support you, right? But the good thing is when we looked at that, that's something they told me up front for one of my agents. They told us that up front. So can you guys hear me? I have construction. Is the Zoom muting it out? I'm okay. Okay. So that's one of the things that were very important. So I've had full support.
Awesome. And I'm gonna go to you, Elgin, next, and just say, you know, the support we get, right? We have support from Frank, Brent, all the way up, Glenn, all the way down to some of our new agents, right? Your support doesn't only come from above. You get support from top and bottom. Do you feel that? And when I say top and bottom, not to mean that anybody's less than anybody, but just more experience, less experience, higher positions. Can you share a little bit on that if you think?
Yeah, the support I've gotten over the time frame has been great. And I believe the more you reach out, the more things that you go, that you go to, the more stuff you participate in, the support gets even better because people get to know you a little bit more, and as well. I mean, when I first got here, meaning I first joined eXp, I was amazed that I like immediately within the first couple of months or so received an email with a follow-up call from Glenn Sanford, asking me to participate in something. And it was like, whoa, I guy's a billionaire and he even knows who I am, to make a phone call, which, and to reach out to me. I'm thinking like, about what, which was nice. And then because we have so many really great agents that are, they're all pretty much pursuing the same goals, even in other states and things like that. And I'm pretty sure that Nate and Frank can attest to that, to have some people that are not only just quote unquote top earners, but just top people in their profession. Some that have been around for years and have had, coaching programs for the Jake Hinders and the Cliff Freemans, and just people, man, that as you learn are iconic in the industry, that they'll actually reach out and if you can touch them and they'll talk to you and help you. So for me, it's been 6 years now from when Laura and I moved over, my wife and I moved over to eXp, and it's by far been the best business decision that we've made in the 36 years I've been doing this. So I'm extremely happy here.
Awesome. Very cool. And last one to just jump in, I'm going to come to Carolyn Arroyo here. I know I've been working with her. I've been excited to see as she's developed over the last couple of years, and she's somebody that I think has just grown, and I see the division. And she shared with me the other day that she had somebody else kind of joining that's close to her that's going to be joining, just getting her license, and just want to see what the support is, and if you want to share just a little bit about you and what you're doing now and how you like eXp as compared to maybe some of the past that you worked.
Okay, well, thanks, Michael. I was like, "Whoa, I wasn't ready for that one." Yeah, I'm super excited. My husband just passed his test on Friday. So super excited about that. I felt, to be honest with you, like I hit the jackpot, to be honest, because he's like really good. So, I mean, the support at eXp, I mean, with these type of meetings and Elgin and then, the IHOP, and I felt that camaraderie. And Michael, you're amazing, and just always being there. You don't feel so lonely. And then with eXp, one of the things I love is, Debbie Penny, for sure, being able to go on to the world and just talking to the broker, like at your fingertip. That to me was a huge plus, and it's very good advice that I have been, able to get. So super excited with that. I didn't quite have those type of experiences in any of the brokerages that I've been, either they were selling or you would try to connect and they're texting you, I'm in an appointment. And then, you sometimes just that hands-on right at that moment just helps give more confidence to the situation. And so you can help your client to make informed decisions. So I'm super grateful. So yeah, I'm excited for the next steps and see where it goes.
Very cool. I'm excited to be working with you and keep everything going. So you guys, I think I'm gonna hand it back here to Frank in just a minute, but now we all have a goal. Let's bring a buyer for the cannabis farm. And so if we have anybody looking for a cannabis farm in Lemoore, let's get that. And if we have anybody looking to sell, let's have a goal. Try to see if we can help maybe with the referral in Orcutt and get Eileen and help her with her first listing. So other than that, thank you all so much, Eileen, Carolyn, Kimberly. I'm so excited that you are here and to be partners with you, and I'm excited to see as you grow and keep doing what you've been doing. I'm going to give it back to you, Frank, and anybody else who wants to close out.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Frank.
Fantastic call. I'll tell you, I'm fired up with these two ladies that talked today. I got goosebumps right here. Okay. Because I'll tell you what, people are struggling right now with business, and I get it. The closer we are together to form as a bond, the more you're going to succeed, which leads me to a couple things. And Eileen, you don't have a New York accent. You didn't say coffee or anything like that. So you don't have a New York accent.
You have to hear me after a sip of wine.
Well, we're all a little bit different after a sip of wine. Anyway, I want to remind you guys, I just started this morning at 9 o'clock. I have a call that's open to anybody who's with any company. And we talked about getting started and getting business. I had 12 people on the call this morning. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Oklahoma City and New Mexico showed up big time. So you're more than welcome to call on the Winner Circle link. And again, next Monday, we're going to have a speaker that's going to blow your mind. And I'm not going to even tell you, it's just going to be a surprise. But I thank you for the support that you guys come on here, because Nate, Elgin, and Michael are doing everything they can to help you. Can you imagine Nate's got 30 people on his team? Can you imagine what that's like? I mean, he's got listings going crazy. If you ever need help, Nate will help you. If you ever need help with Elgin, you got what, 35 years experience? I mean, Elgin has seen it all. Okay? Do not think you're all alone, please. And I know you're being recruited from other companies, especially when you start doing production. You're getting those letters, you're getting those calls, you're getting those texts offering you the moon. But let me tell you, on the 21st of every month, when that check comes, and those who are getting the checks, life is good. My wife is really happy. Also, reminder, on Tuesdays at 1:30, my sponsor, Brent Gove, goes for 30 minutes. And if you want to get inspired and motivated and inspiration, Tuesdays at 1:30 Pacific time, it is the place to be. It's open to anybody. You got to remember, guys, this guy makes $1 million a month, and he does this for us. I doubt very much if I was making $1 million a month, I'd spend any time in real estate anymore. But that's just me. However, you got a lot of help. You got a lot of help. Okay. So, any last questions before I end this call?
Good.
Michael, thank you for everything you did today to put this together. Thank you, Kim and Eileen. Continued success. I'm fired up. I'm going to go make about 25 calls today to my database. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Thank
and
you,
we'll
guys.
see you next
Everybody.
week.
Thank you.